Test 1, 2. Good evening. The meeting for the Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Roll call of the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Mr. Lemonna. Here. Mr. Lopes. Here. Mr. Pelton. Here. And Chairman Tucker.
Here.
Here. Quorum is present. First item on the agenda is application A21-23 on the application of Cavallo Corporation, looking to construct a single-family dwelling on vacant lots 5 and 6 at Agnes Avenue.
Could press the button and just state your name and address, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Attorney Larry Simeone. I represent the applicant. We scheduled a meeting with the neighbors Thursday at 6 o'clock, and we've got some neighbors that we're hoping to talk to and see if we can move the project forward, and we should be responding to you at your next regular meeting.
Could you please make sure the ward councilor notifies that young lady who just left here that's going to be calling her?
Okay, because the
Thank you.
ward council is going to be there tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And then do we, on the continuance, a motion to continue? Seconded. Roll call.
Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals continue this matter to the next meeting of September 22nd, 2021 at 5 p.m.? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Pelton? Yes. Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes. The matter will be continued. Next application is A2127, Teresa Adams, trustee of 351 Vane Street, Revere, Mass., seeking variances of section 17.24.010A, minimum rear yard setback, and section 17.24.010, maximum principal building coverage of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere to enable the appellant to construct a 24-foot by 36-foot single-story addition at 351 Vane Street.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board members. Good afternoon, I should say. It seems like it's been a long day. So I represent Teresa Adams, trustee. She's here with her 2 daughters, one of whom is going to be living in the proposed addition. Her daughter is unfortunately disabled and no longer able to afford her living circumstances right now. As you can see from the plans, the intrusiveness on the two issues is not substantial. It's going to be a 1-story building. It's not going to have a kitchen. It's just going to have 2 bedrooms, a sitting room, and a bathroom to accommodate my client's daughter as well as her daughter, the granddaughter of my client. And they expect to be living there. The granddaughter is still in school, and as I said, my client's daughter is unable to continue to work and therefore pay her mortgage right now. So she is in a building that is designed to be sold to a similarly situated buyer, meaning that someone of low income, which she was at the time she bought the building. So she has to give a portion of that back to the, whatever the sale price is, back to the agency so that they can subsidize a new buyer. So she's not, again, capable of really buying anything in this economy based on what she's going to be able to get out of that. Plus, she does need some care. She has several medical issues that require her mother to be, and her daughter for that matter, to care for her. So that's why we're requesting this variance.
Okay. Just for the record, that if you'd state your name and address, just so.
I'm sorry, Stephen Reardon for the appellant. 160 Winthrop Avenue in Revere.
Thank you. Okay, seeing that it's a public hearing, I'll ask if there's any proponents, anyone in favor?
Well, my clients would, if you'd like to hear from my client, I'd be glad to.
The client is in favor, that's fine with the raise of the hands? Okay,
Raise the hands. And 2 daughters.
okay. If you could just step aside, because I think we have one
Sure.
other proponent.
Good evening, Councilor George Rotundo, 9 Dehone Street, Revere, Mass. I'm in full support of this effort. Anything that we can do to help these people, I would hope that the Zoning Board of Appeals would do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other proponents? I did get a call from the ward councilor who is in favor, Councilor Keefe. For the record, hearing no others, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? I'd ask for a roll call.
Shall the zoning board of appeals grant the relief requested for 351 Vane Street? Mr. Lemino? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Pelton? Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the variance has been granted.
You're welcome.
Next application is A 21-28, 333 Lee Burbank LLC, 333 Lee Burbank Highway, Revere, Mass., seeking multiple variances of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere to enable the appellant to file for a planned unit development for the purpose of converting an existing office building to a 12-unit apartment building at 333 Lee Burbank Highway. The applicant seeks minimum lot area in the TED district, minimum lot frontage in the TED district, and minimum of 2 parking spaces per unit for all apartment uses within a PUD.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Attorney Larry Simeoni with law offices at 300 Broadway, Revere, Massachusetts. This evening, I represent 333 Burbank LLC, a Massachusetts limited liability company with the same address. They seek a variance in accordance with 40A, Section 10, revised Revere zoning law in 1752-010. Specifically, Lot C is the locus that we're dealing with. It's Lot C, Lee Burbank Highway, as shown on Exhibit 1. It's 9,053 square feet with 107.54 foot of frontage. It's in the TED district, and it's improved by a 14,280 square foot office building. Lot C was Lot C and D were created by variances granted back in 2006. This particular ZBA case was A-0613, wherein the variances actually created the lot. The lot doesn't get any protection under the law when it comes to nonconformity. This is a problem for us because in order to file for a planned unit development, in order to make the conversion that we request, which is to convert from an office building to 12 apartments, we need to get the land, i.e. that's before you, approved or qualified for a planned unit development. So we're asking for the variance specifically to move our way around the site area requirement of the PUD, which is 172160, and it's 25,000 square feet. If this variance is granted this evening, then we will be able to take this planned unit development, which is a special permit request, to the Honorable City Council. At this point, when you look at Exhibit 1, we're making no alterations or changes to the building at this time. The structure will remain the same. We're proposing 24 spaces for the 12 apartment building, 12 units of apartment place. That's what we're asking for. We'll be adding 2 more spaces for extra visitor parking. So altogether, we'll be looking at 26 spaces. Currently, the Lot C has 18 spaces. 15 spaces in the first level, on the first ground, 3 outside. And then there's 6 spaces that we would like a variance for to use on Lot D. So that 6 spaces will become 8 spaces in accordance with our request to increase the number of parking spaces to take in some visitor parking. And that's the same variance that was granted back in 2006. It was the same variance with respect to using additional parking spaces on Lot D. So at this time, we're asking for a variance for minimum lot size, 25,000 square feet, and we only have 9,053 square feet. We're asking for frontage, 150 feet. We have 107, so we need variances on those. And again, as discussed, we're asking for a variance to have 8 off-street parking spaces on Lot D, just as the previous variance was granted for the office building. Any questions the board may have, I'll be glad to answer them.
No, seeing that it's a public hearing, I'll ask for any proponents, and I would like to put for the record, Chairman Zambudo was in favor, as well as Councilor McKenna. Please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Again, Councilor George Rotondo, 9 DeHone Street. I'm in favor of the ZBA voting to put this forward so it can go before the council and we can help mediate the problems that are at the site. I believe that they'll be able to meet the parking requirements that are going to be required, and fully supportive of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other proponents?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like one of my clients to come up and give you a very brief reason as to why we're seeking to convert. They really tried to make the office building a go. So I thought it would be best if you heard from one of my clients.
Good evening.
I think it was very well explained in here, but you're welcome to.
Thank you so
State your
much.
case.
My name is Andrew Sika. Family's been in the city for many years, and we operate a business right beside this proposed project. We did put up the office building with very good intentions that the space would work very well and be successful to our family. In light of current situations and trendings, how everything's going, and fortunately, it hasn't been as successful as we hoped it. We'd like to revive this building in hopes that maybe this conversion would be the way to go. So I appreciate any and all help that you can offer us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any members wish to speak? I'm just grateful that they're adding 2 additional parking spaces, which we have to note, Ashley, so there's going to be not 6, but 8 parking spaces. And what lot is that? Lot D? Lot D. So the total will be 26 parking spaces. Will you submit a new plan?
Sure, if the clerk wants a new plan, not a problem. We'll also submit any documents connecting the 2 lots with
Okay.
respect to that as well.
Thank you. Having no further questions, roll call, please. No, it's opponents, no one. I then
Shall
ask
the-
the councilors and no one ask the members and no one wish to speak. We can now ask for roll call.
Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant the relief requested for 333 Lee Burbank Highway? Mr. Lemonna? Yes. Mr. Lopes? Voting yes. Mr. Pelton? Yes, and Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the relief has been granted. Next application is A21-29, Agumara D'Souza, 165 Middlesex Avenue, Somerville, Mass., seeking a variance of Section 17.24.010, minimum side yard setback of the revised ordinances of the City of Revere to enable the appellant to construct an 11 feet 1 1/4 inches by 30 feet and 10 inches addition on the footprint of the existing carport at 51 Carlson Avenue.
If the applicant would just kindly state your name and address for the record.
Hello, everyone. Cindy Sabino, 51 Carlson Avenue.
The plans pretty much speak for themselves, so I will just go on and ask if there's any proponents. For the record, the ward councilor is in favor of this, Councilor Serino. And I would ask if there's one person behind you that would like to speak, he'll step up to the microphone.
I am also a proponent, and anything that we can help our law enforcement, I am more than happy to do. Thank you.
Thank you, George. For the record, we do have your name and address. Any other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? There was just that one concern raised regarding a retaining wall, which we advised that the building department would have to look at when you're excavating, just to settle the concerns of the abutter. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side here. Any members wish to speak? Yes, for a roll call, please.
Shall the Zoning Board of Appeals grant the relief requested for 51 Carlson Avenue? Mr. Lemonna? Voting yes. Mr. Lopes? Yes. Mr. Pelton? Yes. And Chairman Tucker?
Yes.
Yes, the variance has been granted.
Having no further business, our next meeting will be September 22nd at 5 PM. And we will have a special meeting on September 1st at 5 PM for one calendar item number. And that will be a Zoom meeting.
Yes, that's fully on Zoom.
Thank you and have a good night.